Thank you. First, thank you all for joining us. We're excited to have you and talk a little bit about our revised MBA program here at Western Michigan University. So I just want to give you a little background before I hand it off to Ren and Barb to talk a little more detail about the program. But before COVID, as the graduate situation in terms of education in the United States was starting to change, we realized that we wanted Western Michigan University to make that change and be sort of at the forefront of the modifications to fit the needs of the new professionals that were out there in the United States. So one of the first things that we did to really get a better understanding of what the needs and the want of not only corporations but also individuals that were going to pursue their graduate degree, we decided to do some research in the local region and get an idea not only what companies were looking for in terms of a skill set, but also what young professionals and professionals were looking for in terms of the knowledge and the skills that they were looking to get. So based on that data that we found, we realized there was really a couple reasons for these individuals going back to get their MBA. And it really was a basis around acquiring the skills and knowledge in order to first do better in their current jobs, but second, with the anticipation of having an MBA with this new skill set to be able to achieve greater goals in terms of their career, either promotional increases or switches to other companies that were looking for new employees. And so as we dug deeper into the information and the data and the research that we got, we really find five key issues that the marketplace were responding to, what the needs were in terms of these professionals looking to get their MBA. The first thing was this broad view of flexibility. And flexibility in the minds of the individuals that we talked to were really threefold. Number one, they wanted flexibility in the type of learning that they had. They wanted the option to go in person or go online when needed. And based on that, and Barb and Ren will talk about, we developed this new high flex learning to fulfill that need. Also, we found out they didn't want to set classes that they had to take. They wanted more flexibility in the electives they were choosing that could fit either their wants or their skill set that they were looking to improve on, or even the industry or general focus of a certain discipline that they thought they needed to. And they wanted to have more flexibility on choosing more classes for the degree. And we really found a resounding no to the idea of cohorts. And the idea of cohorts is that you have a group of students that actually move through the process in the MBA program together and take all the similar classes together. And so what we found is that was not something that our group wanted, largely because of the flexibility issue. They didn't want to have to actually have a class every semester or two classes every semester, because they realized that life and their professional life and their personal life could somehow throw a curveball that one semester maybe they couldn't take classes because of this situation happening. So we decided that the idea of a cohort wasn't going to fit in terms of at least designing the program. We also dug a little deeper with the idea of the skill sets that these students were looking for. And one of the key skill sets they wanted is to be able to understand how to analyze data and be able to look at that and make strategic decisions based upon that. So we took that in mind in terms of developing the new program. Second, they really wanted to increase the idea of understanding and be able to focus in on leadership. So we took that also to heart. And then finally, they said the key issues of presentation, communication, negotiation were a skill set they didn't think they had enough of, but also realized that was a skill set to help them move up in management and to higher positions. So those were three skills that we found stood out in the needs of the students. And also there are some other peripheral areas that we thought were very interesting. They also realized that a lot of these students, and we realized a lot of students had great managerial experience, had great life experiences, and they wanted to somehow feel that was appreciated coming into the classroom. Fourth, they talked about, is it possible for us to be able to offer credits in classes for specific projects they had at work? And that was a need they had discussed. And then also overall, with the idea of just totally online learning, that wasn't enough. The MBA professionals, when they're going back for their MBA, were looking for much more of a relationship building. And this is obviously COVID has even thrown another wrench in that. But the idea of making sure they could develop relationships with other individuals, not only for professional means, but also just to get to know somebody and actually create sometimes lifelong friendships. So those are some of the key issues that we found based on the research. And so what we did, in Barb and Ren were integral in this whole process. We took all this information and we developed a program around some of those specific key needs of the market. So I think I'll turn it over. Barb, are you next? And talking a little bit about the program.
Well, I think good afternoon, and thank you all for being here. I'm Barb Tomzak, Director of Graduate Advising and Admissions for the Hayworth College of Business. I've been at Western for 48 years and with the Hayworth College of Business for 43 of those years. So I've seen a lot of change in my long life on campus. Our new program and delivery, like Steve said, are by far the most flexible and user-friendly I've seen so far. I'm excited and very proud to be part of this program and hope you decide to make us part of your journey. If after this session you have questions that didn't get answered, please feel free to contact me or Ren by email or phone, or we can meet up in person, any which way is easiest for you. And we'll answer anything. We'll answer all your questions. I'm looking forward to speaking to everybody and hope that you'll contact us and reach out. And I'll turn it over to Ren now, and she will go through the program, kind of explain what it is and how you're admitted and what the courses will be like and what the what it looks like. So Ren, take it away.
Thanks, Barb. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Ren Phillips, and I work primarily out of our Grand Rapids location. I am a graduate of WMU's MBA program, and I had a wonderful, insightful learning experience in the program, but I'm even more excited about the changes that we've made recently. So as Barb said, we will be your primary contact, and we are here to answer any questions you have and advise you throughout your MBA journey. So this program, as Dr. Newell has said, is now more skill-based, has a more skill-based curriculum. Every single course is now designed to provide you with skills that can immediately be applied to your professional life. This program, as we mentioned earlier, has built-in flexibility both in terms of the format and the program length. So this high flex option basically means that all MBA courses are offered both in person on main campus and or Grand Rapids, and fully synchronously online. Students get to choose which format works best for them in any given semester and in any particular week. You can register for an online class, but if you think it would be more beneficial for you to come in person some weeks, you have that option. So this high flex format also allows you to maximize the networking opportunities with both faculty and classmates. So courses would meet one night a week, Monday through Thursdays. We have few weekend courses in fall and spring, and twice a week in the summer semesters. And classes go from 6 o'clock in the evening till 9 o'clock in the evening, because that is the time when you as working adults have the most flexibility. We run 13-week-long semesters in fall and spring, and 6.5-week semesters in summer 1 and summer 2. When I said program length is one of the flexibilities that we have, we give you up to 6 years to complete your program. However, most students are completing it under 4 years, and it's also possible to complete it in 2 years. If your employer offers tuition reimbursement, by all means, take advantage of it. Western offers a tuition deferment policy where you are only responsible for the upfront costs until grades are due at the end of the semester. Next slide, please. Okay, so I forgot to mention earlier that we have a rolling admissions, which means students get admitted every single semester. And that, again, allows you to expand your professional network because you're going to be constantly meeting new people. So there are 7 core courses that every MBA student will be taking. Each course is designed, again, specifically to meet the learning objectives of the program, which are to provide you as managers with the skills and knowledge to advance in your careers. So these are the 7 core classes, which represent 21 credit hours. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because you can find the course description for each of these in the 2021-22 graduate catalog online. Next slide, please. So there are 5 remaining courses that you have to take. These are your electives, 15 credit hours, and you have to take at least one from MBA 6010 through MBA 614. You are certainly welcome to take more since you will need to complete 5 elective courses, but I encourage you to take advantage of some of the other electives listed in the next slide. Can we go to the next slide, please? Oh, go back one. All right. So, when and if possible, try taking the study abroad elective. It is an incredibly enriching experience. I never had the opportunity to do it when I was a student, but I had the wonderful experience of joining some MBA students back in 2017 when we went to Santiago, Chile, and it was an unbelievable experience for them. So because you need to take 5 elective courses in the MBA program, we are excited to announce that you can use those remaining electives to complete a certificate in conjunction with your MBA. For instance, we are launching the certificate in business analytics in fall of 2020 and have hopes that we will be offering many other business-related certificates in the near future. Next slide, please. If your undergraduate degree was not in business, it is highly likely that you would be required to take some, if not all, the prereq courses listed on the slide. Barb and I will review your transcripts and we will determine what prereqs you will need. Again, this is a highly flexible program. So basically what that means is you don't need to complete all your prereqs before being admitted into the program or even taking some MBA courses. Now, there are some courses that require prereqs before you take them, such as MBA 6 or 4, which is Finance for Managerial Decision Making. You have to take the required finance prereq before you can register for that class. But again, Barb and I will work with you on this. Let's go into the admissions slide. So a lot of other universities make the admissions process a little more complicated. We are going to make you do a lot of work when you're in the program, so we've simplified what you're going to be required to do to get admitted. We only need 4 things. Your online application. Barb has added the application fee waiver code to the chat. It is MBA Info 4, MBA INFO 4. If you apply before, and the code is expiring after May 1st, so please take advantage of it. Your application is good for 12 months, so it makes sense to apply even if you're not planning on starting this summer or even this fall. So that's the first thing we need. The second thing we need is your most recent updated resume. We would also be requiring your official transcripts, unless you got your undergraduate degree from Western, and your Gmat and GRE scores. So that's it in a very, very small nutshell. There's a lot more that goes into it, but it's really not complicated. We can go to the next slide. Stephanie, are you with us? I can't see her.
I am, yes.
Wonderful. So I would like to introduce Stephanie, who is going to share her experiences in the program so far.
Yeah, thanks, Bren. So my name is Stephanie Spireman. I am the Director of Finance at a mental health facility in the Grand Rapids area. I am about 2 years into the program. It's going to take me about probably 4 years to get through it. I'm working full time and taking about 1 class a semester most of the time. I have loved the program so far. I think my favorite thing about it has been the classes have been super relevant to what I'm doing on a daily basis. So every time I leave class, I've got at least 1 thing, if not 5 or 10, that I kind of want to implement at work the next day. I'm going to use to kind of help my team get better here. The flexibility that has been talked about pretty much the whole time was the second thing that really drew me to the program. And that goes from the scheduling flexibility to the professors are really flexible. So they understand the whole program is really, I think, geared really well towards working professionals. And so they understand that sometimes you have a work meeting or traveling for work. And the high flex option has been great kind of to allow if someone's traveling, you can still jump on for class from 6 to 9 and then go back to work or whatever you're doing. And the professors have been flexible. If you need to miss a night or whatever, they're always available to kind of catch you up, and classmates have been great for that as well. And then the other thing, and this was for me the biggest reason that I picked Western when I was looking at programs, was the ease of access to the advisors. And so Ren, I met in a very similar situation to this, and she answered all of the questions that I had. And Barb and Ren both, if you need something, they are there, and they're so much easier to access than any advisors I've ever experienced really at other programs, which has really just made the process very smooth and easy for me. So.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. Next, we will have Joe. Joe, can you tell us a little bit about your time in the program?
Yeah, so I'm about halfway through the program. Like Stephanie, I'm a business analyst in healthcare covering the whole state of Michigan. And for me, in my experience, I think it really started with Ren, Barb, and Dr. Newell. I've had personal contact with each of them, and they don't hesitate or take long to reply back to you with any concerns or any questions. The enrollment process has been easy. They walk you through it. And then once you get into taking courses, a couple of things that I've really liked is the flexibility. And Dr. Newell's slide took away a lot of the things I was going to say. But living up in Grand Rapids, it's really nice to be able to take courses in Kalamazoo and not have to drive down there, or vice versa. If you live in Kalamazoo and something's offered in Grand Rapids, you can take it. I do like not having the cohorts because I've been able to network and meet a variety of people from different professions. In the faculty themselves, the coursework they make applicable, they give real life examples, and they also use their experience and kind of connect the textbook to what's happening in the current world. And it's been a great experience. And even looking back, I would not hesitate to choose Western's MBA program. Even when I was looking at Michigan State, some of the other programs, I would choose Western again.
Thanks so much, Joe. And now we get to the part that I love the most, the question and answers. So try and stump us. I welcome the challenge.
Yeah, so we did have a few questions come in. Just trying to catch up here. A couple of them have been about the fee waiver code. So once again, the fee, the code is MBA Info 4, and that can be entered in the additional information section of the application. And then there was a question about what is the application fee if it's not submitted before May 1st, and that is $50. So there's a question, how frequently are Gmat waivers granted? Does Barb want to take that, or Ren?
I'll take it. If you have at least 3 years of managerial experience, good managerial experience after graduation, it's likely that the Gmat would be waived. So there's a form on our website, a Gmat waiver form that you would fill out and submit it, and it will go through a committee. And there are different criteria. If you handle budget, if you manage, how many people you might supervise or manage. So the application is on the website. You can take a look at it. It's I don't know where it is on the website. So if you want to email me, I can send you a copy. I mean, it's easy to send, but I think it is. I think it does show up on our website. It is in the application. When you get through the application, you'll see the Gmat waiver form. So how often, if you meet the criteria, it will be waived.
Someone asked if we're watching a recording. No, this is live. This is live. There was a question, I think, regarding international. Do you have a list of international universities approved by WMU? Barb, maybe you want to chime in, but no, typically the process, and please, Barb, correct me if I'm wrong, is you're going to submit those transcripts and they're going to be evaluated by our international office. Correct, Barb? That
is correct. And I started to type that, and I don't know what happened to it, but yes, the application will go through the International Student Office. The transcripts are evaluated, and if the grade point is based on a 5-point scale, that is not a problem for them. They know how to figure that out. International Student Admissions does have a really good website with just about everything answered that you could possibly ask. So if you go to our international student website, you may even see a list. I don't know, but they have also got a contact information where you can email them and ask them if you have the question. They also have funding and scholarship information for international students. So you might want to look at their website just for that information too.
And I do know the international deadline for fall is approaching. It may have been extended by a week. So you're going to want, if you want to start in fall, you're going to want to get that done.
Yep.
There was another question about is WMU employees, is this covered under your benefits? And it is. That is. Are there more questions? Maybe I'm missing some. Okay. Should we complete the GMAT before applying? And is there a prep course we could take through WMU?
You can apply. It makes no difference. If you apply first, I hang on to your application, and when the GMAT score comes in, I just sync them up. Or you can take the GMAT first. It makes no difference. If you apply first, what I'll do is send you an email and say, okay, I've got your application. What I need now is your GMAT score and your transcripts. If you take the GMAT first, when you apply, it will sync up with your application. So either way is okay. If you're a Western student, if you did your undergraduate degree at Western, you do not need to send your transcripts. I have access to those.
Also, if you decide to take the GRE, you should let us know that you've done that, because we don't always get those coming to us directly like we do with the GMAT.
Is there any talk of offering high flex program for undergrads? I don't know if Dr. Newell needs to take that one.
It's the high flex program, I think, will be expanded. We're already expanding to the Masters of Accounting program. We've got some other programs, but I would guess there'd be a limited number of classes that will offer that. But I do think there'll probably be a few classes as we move forward that would have high flex options. But right now we've got relatively, the space is really focused on our MBA students. So in fact, we've exciting new news this summer. We are upgrading our classes to have permanent high flex technology. So I would argue we're going to be one of the top of the line universities in terms of the technology and high flex coming up in the through the summer. And we have the classrooms fitted out right now, but we're going to go to the next level. So it's going to be an exciting time, particularly in the fall, when we really, get some permanent technology in the classrooms.
One I can answer: does the application fee waiver apply to other programs? No, that one will only work for the MBA application. Barbara Wren, what is the average score of the GMAT for previous class? What is the average score of the GMAT, I guess?
It's about a 530. 530 is our average. You need a minimum of 450, but the average is about a 530.
Thank you. So what if I'm a current resident who immigrated to the country, but attended an international university? Are you considered an international applicant? It just depends on your citizenship. If you're a citizen, no, you will not. Or if you're here on a green card, correct, Barb? I think you're also considered domestic.
Yeah, you're domestic unless you're here on a visa.
But your international transcripts will still need to be evaluated by our international admissions office.
Right.
All right, I think we have caught up. Are there any other questions? Oh, another one just came in. Can we learn more about the electives? Could you talk a little bit more about the work experience or work projects and how maybe you can grant credit for that?
Dr. Newell, would you like to take that one?
Did you say, Ren?
I said, would you like to take that one?
I can take it. Let me talk about two different areas. First, we'll talk about the professional experience. And the professional experience, there's a form to fill out with your resume. And like I said, I think that if you've had any extensive experience, either life experiences or even business experience or military experience, it would be a good idea to you to consider getting 3 credits. And the great news about this, if you get credit for professional experience, that is free credit. We actually waive the tuition fee for that, and that's 3 credits toward an elective. So that's the first thing you want to consider if you've had, 2, 3, 4 years of experience or some other significant experience that would make you stand out. Because the idea here is we want to get individuals with a lot of varying life and professional experiences to bring to the classroom to further discussion, and also to help in learning the education of all the students. So that'd be something to think about, because we really want to reward you for that hard work you did before you came to the program. Now, as far as the work project, what that is, if you have work and have a significant project that's going on that you're playing a significant role, there's a special form to fill out to talk a little bit about what this project is. You have to have your supervisor sign off, and then you have to figure out what faculty member would oversee that project. But that's sort of on a case-by-case basis. But what we're really trying to do, once again, if you're doing some great stuff at work and significant things that relate and can actually educate us here at Western, that we want you to be a part of it and get credit for. So that is on a case-by-case basis, but we can talk a little bit about, or you can email Barb or Ren, and they can send you the form and other information. But like I said, we think it's a way to help you as working professionals actually incorporate some of the things that are going on in your workplace, get some expertise from our faculty members here at Western. And then, like I said, it will be counted as one of the elective classes.
Thank you. We did have a question. What's the application deadline for international students? And I think it's like the end of the week. It's fastly approaching. Barb, I don't know if you have the exact date.
It was April 1st. I think they've extended it a week or two. And I think if you go ahead and apply, you can use the application fee waiver code. And if you put the following semester, whatever one is still up, summer, or it would be spring, I think would be the next one. We can always change it back to fall. So even if you apply for spring, then we can say, I can change it back to your fall admission. So if the fall is no longer up there as an option, just apply for spring with the application fee waiver code, and then we can work with that, if that makes sense.
So we had another question. How long is the duration of the one class per week? So I'm not sure if you're talking about the actual class time, which would be 3 hours, correct? And the semester length is 16 weeks. So that should cover both of those.
Except in the summer.
I'm sorry, what was that?
It's 13 weeks for the MBA program in fall and spring.
Okay.
And weeks in summer 1 and summer 2.
So even better. And but I think their question was how long was the actual class time, and that's 3 hours, correct? Okay. Yep, 3 hours. I think we may have had another one come in. The application fee waiver, it's MBA Info and then the numeric 4, all one word, all lowercase, and it's in the chat. Okay, can you provide additional information about the military dependent tuition rates and how this differs from in-state tuition? I don't believe we have a separate tuition rate for that, do we, Barb?
Not that I know of. No, it's the same.
No, I do know all military are paid the in-state tuition rate. But we would be happy to, if you reached out to Barb or Ren, we'd be happy to connect you with our military office, and they can answer some of those kind of questions. A few more coming. All right, I think we caught up, so we'll just give it a few more minutes if you have another question.
Sure.
Otherwise, does anybody have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, just a couple of things I think we can talk about in Barb and Ren. You can, follow along. We have scholarships that we're offering for the MBA students. This next year, we'll offer 5 $1,000 scholarships for MBA students. It is, if you're getting money or other scholarships in terms of like from your work, you're not qualified. But if you don't have this other money coming in, we're trying to give a little bit of financial relief to our students there. So that's something we will send out emails about, and we will talk to you about. I'm trying to think, there was one other issue that, just once again, we're on the list of top MBA programs by Princeton Review. And I forgot how many years running has that been, Barbara, in 2015. So once again, we're listed as one of the top programs by Princeton Review.
Thanks. We had a lot of requests. Sorry, I was just for the fee waiver code. Once again, I put it in the chat. Barb did too. So it's in there several times. Is there still a summer 1 and summer 2 for the MBA program?
Yes, there is. And it's up to you whether you want to go year round or if you want to take time off in summer. So again, the summer semesters run 6.5 weeks long. A lot of students tend to take either one of them off, and it really depends on how quickly you want to go through the program.
And just a quick note, in the summer sessions, you meet twice a week rather than once a week in the fall and the spring sessions.
Thank you. And we had Barb, this is probably for you. Do they still need their undergrad transcripts if they have a master's degree?
Yes. I was just typing the answer. Yes.
Thank you. We had one more come in. Well, that was just Barb. Okay, well, that was a lot of great questions.
Another question, Steve.
Oh, did we have another one come in? But meeting is optional in person, correct? Like I could come in one week and the next do it online.
Correct. In fact, because it meets twice a week, you could even go as far as saying, if my class meets on Mondays and Wednesdays, I can only commit to coming into class on Wednesdays and attend Monday classes online. So again, this new HiFlex is so convenient. I really wish we thought of it earlier so that I could have taken advantage of it, but here we are.
Barb, this is probably for you. Can a prospective applicant with a 2.9 GPA but 7+ years of experience be considered for the MBA program as well as funding?
I would go ahead and fill out the application and let the committee decide that. Probably, yes. Depends on the work experience, but I would not, I would apply, I would fill out the Gmat waiver form and let the committee decide that.
Thank you. We had another thing come in about the fee waiver. And if you are an international student, please reach out to Barb or Ren, because that code, you're going to need another code, and I'll get it to them so they have it. The MBA Info 4 will only work for domestic students.
That is not true, Steve. I had cleared it with international graduate admissions. So
even better.
INFO, and the numerical number 4 is the application fee or the code, regardless of whether you are a domestic student or an international student.
Great news. Uploading our transcripts through Parchment is sufficient. Yes, you want to get them sent. You can get them sent through Parchment. Good question. I guess we'll give it just a few more seconds here and see if anything came in. A lot of great questions. All right, Ren, Barb, Steve, anything further?
Well, please reach out to us if you have questions that we didn't answer, or if there are things that you would like to talk to us about. Feel free to reach out to us if you would like to audit the class. We encourage you to come in and experience what it's like to sit in our class and see the interaction between the faculty and classmates. With this new HiFlex, we are able to connect you to just about anyone in the world. So reach out.
Yep, I want to thank everybody for coming and taking time to learn a little bit more about the WMU MBA program. And like I said, Ren and Barb are the experts here. They can answer any questions, but if you have anything else you need or would like to talk to me, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, and we hope to see you soon. Take care.